Hi everyone, welcome back. Josh Beatar and Alex Goldman here for From the Stands. And today we're very luckily joined by the woman who looks to become the first ever PFL Europe flyweight champion in just over a month's time. Dakota, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. First things first, how are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really well. Everything's going well. It's nice and sunny here in Florida today, so I'm happy. It was raining yesterday.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, first thing I want to touch on, obviously, is the big fight in a few weeks' time. I just want to know. Obviously, there's been what the PFL is doing in Europe and across the world. I think is very special in terms of what they're doing for mixed martial arts as a whole. The whole world is not just focusing on the US and that sort of stuff. They're looking to branch out, and obviously with the inaugural year of PFL Europe, I just want to know what that would mean to you to become the first ever flyweight champion in PFL Europe. I mean, it's an inaugural thing, so it's a big deal and a very special accomplishment. So I guess what does that mean to you, considering where you've come from and your career thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I win it, it'll be like no one will be able to question. I am the best in Europe, and that's that. I
Mm.
feel like PFL, they've grown so fast as well, so I feel like they've got so much respect now for their name basically, and I feel like coming to Europe was something that was missed out a lot. They've done such an amazing thing. They've found a lot of new talent. If you see the fight card for Dublin, it's got really,
Yeah.
really high level standard fighters on there. So they've really they've really gone into an area now where I feel like a lot of people were missing. So to be part of that and be part of the first PFL Europe season, and just to see it kick off the way it has been a special moment, as well as winning that belt as well.
Mm.
For sure. So, Dakota, obviously, you got an extensive Muay Thai background, but I'm curious, what changes did you have to make, to your Muay Thai, making the transition over to MMA? Was it incorporating more footwork? Was it the range when you threw your strikes? What was sort of the main, changes you had to make?
Yeah, there were a few changes. Yeah, it was at first it was difficult, but I feel like my style from Thai boxing was very it wasn't traditional Thai, very on the spot and
Yeah.
just like body
Mm.
scoring and stuff. My mum's style was similar. She was very on her toes. She was more like the way I fight as well. So that was kind of a lot easier. I didn't have to change too much. It was just obviously the timing of MMA, the speed, the shots you throw at certain times. It's like I was getting took down all the time. So that was definitely a big change for me. But as style, I feel like what I learned about my style was that the more I tried to change it, the worse I got. When I stuck to what I knew best and just added little tweaks, that's when I really started to at first I think I fixated a little bit too much on the fact that people were taking me down, and I had to, completely change my game. And then I started working with Carl Prince at Manchester Top Team, and he was like, stick to what what you do is look at your career you've had, just change a few little things, but stick to the striking that you've always been good at. And that's when I really started to believe in myself and stop getting took down.
Yeah, definitely. Dakota, look, I know you're only 24, but you would have sort of grown up and been training in a time where there was no PFL Europe. The PFL was nearly, it was almost back to the day where it was a World Series of Fighting. And there wasn't these opportunities that there are now for European fighters. There was Bellator, Dublin, they'd always come into a show. You've got Cage Warriors, I understand that, but never a promotion that can really elevate you guys to the next level and compete with the UFC, and that's not just have to look for the UFC as your only option. I guess what does that mean to you to see the next generation of fighters coming through that have that opportunity and a clear pathway to a professional realm?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, PFL have just the first promotion I feel like that have shone a light on that middle stage.
Mm.
We're all fighting in that middle stage now, PFL Europe, where we're on a big stage. We're learning to deal with the big pressures and the bigger fights, and then we're ready to go into the PFL big season. That big stage, and that's kind of the little middle ground that we were missing out on. And I feel like now we've found that and kind of shone a proper light on it. It's gonna only be better for the future fighters. Since PFL have done this, you've seen so many new fighters get more opportunities, and you've seen a lot of new names flying around that you didn't see before. A lot of new talent, and I think that's just really what we needed. I'm just happy to be a part of it and kick off the PFL season for Europe. I've been privileged to be part of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dakota, you actually picked up your first professional submission win earlier this year, and I'm just curious, how important of a milestone was that for you? Not only for yourself, as a martial artist, but to, also show the fans and the crowd that you are a mixed martial artist now. You're not just a striker coming over into MMA. How important was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was important for me personally. My team always said to me, like, you'll use your groundwork and you'll be able to show what you need to show when the time's right, And I was always like, oh, I need to like get a submission. Everyone says, I can't do it, and everyone thinks that's where they're going to beat me. And I was getting all worked up about it. And then when I didn't think about it, it happened, and
Mm.
everyone was just shocked as I thought they would be. Oh, every headline that I saw, it was like she won by submission, by submission.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't a shock because I've been working so hard. I'm not just sticking to striking. I'm enjoying learning the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. So to me, it wasn't a shock at all. But it was just like a really proud moment for me to be able to be like, there you go. That's what you've all been asking for. Now,
Mm.
now
Good
where do you
stuff.
want to see it next? So it's a big moment for me for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And on speaking on that, look, I think you have probably the most incredible striking ability, I think, in the flyweight division in PFL, not just in the European division. I think, you got six first round stoppages, seven, KOs total in your career, and that's pretty incredible. But I think your height and reach is really what sets you apart. You have such a height and reach advantage over everyone else in your division. I guess is that what you believe is going to make such a difference in these fights in the future, where you have such a height and reach advantage over these other ladies?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I always remember a moment in my Thai career when, I was the same thing. I used to be really slim and tall compared to my opponents. They were a lot shorter. And then I stepped up and I fought this one fight where the girl was the same height as me, a lot more experienced. And people were like, I wonder how she's going to deal with this
Yeah.
now. Again, people doubting me, thinking, I'm not as good as it seems, and I was absolutely fine. So at the same time as the height being good for me, I'm able to like find my distance quite well. I can fight anywhere. It doesn't matter. Like if they give me someone tall, the same shape, I'm still going to be just as good. So I think it is an advantage for me at the moment, but. I feel like if they brought me a taller girl, it wouldn't make a difference to me. I believe in my striking, so
Yeah.
For sure. Dakota, switching topics a little bit, you spoke recently, about the importance of, fighting in your life and it being, it being something that you need. And, we've seen a lot of fighters, particularly recently, like Tyson Fury, Alexander Volkanovski, talk about the importance of fighting in their lives. And, you know, I'm just curious, what has, martial arts or fighting, what has it been able to do for you outside of the cage and outside of the gym? What sort of benefits in your life do you feel like it offers you?
um do you know what? I haven't really had a life without this sport. Everything outside of life has been, it's helped me in all sorts. That's like, it's just always been for me like an escape, even like growing up through school. Like I was the opposite to what I am now. I was tiny. I was still really skinny, but I was like really short. I didn't grow until I left school. Everyone was surprised when I grew, but I was dead small. I was dead timid. Like you said about the fighting not being, recognized and stuff. People were just kind of like, oh yeah, she
Mm.
fights, like she's, just
Yeah.
training, whatever. And it was a difficult time for me in school, to be honest, with girls and things, because I was so timid and stuff. So the sport kind of just brought me up as a person, And I think one of the main things with the sport is that I had my mum as well. She's
Mm.
been through it, and obviously for women in this sport, it's difficult as well. I think it's very different, women and males in this sport. So having someone like my mum to have been through it all and be able to guide me in the right direction, and almost like she's been through the feelings that I'm going through, so she knows exactly how I feel. I feel like I've been really lucky to have that. So I'd say not just the sport that's helped me, but my mom having been in the same position has kind of doubled the
Yeah.
experience of, you know, her being like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Dakota, last couple of ones from us. We won't keep you too long. But obviously your fight with Valentina is coming up, and I know you mentioned to Ariel that you think she's a boring fighter. That's why she sort of had to say what she said in the cage. I guess, what kind of fight are you expecting from her? I imagine you've had enough time now to sort of analyze her style and her game, and heading into this fight. How are you sort of seeing this fight play out in your mind?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really seen that much on her. She got a bye, so she can't really, she didn't even fight the last round, so no one still really knows her. But yeah, I mean, I expect every girl to come at me. They have nothing to lose, right? So they're always up for the fight. They're always up for being the one to come in and beat Dakota,
Yeah.
which is fine. That's kind of what gets me up in the morning, gets me to training. I do have a lot to lose, so whatever she wants to bring, she can bring. But this is just going to be another highlight. This is going to be another highlight reel for me. So
Yeah.
I'm 100% like going to turn up on the night, and whatever she wants to bring, she can bring. They all say they're going to take me down, they're going to strike with me. Like, they can come and try. That's what I want them to do. So I'll be happy if she can make it a good fight and stay in there for the 3 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. Dakota, last question from me. I'm curious, whether it was in a fight or in training, was there a moment when you felt, I'm a mixed martial artist now, obviously making the transition over from Muay Thai? Was there sort of a specific moment where you felt, oh, I'm a mixed martial artist now?
No. I still don't know. No, I'm going to be totally honest. I get humbled in the gym all the time, 24/7. I don't think I'll ever be 100% happy. I'm constantly learning. I'd like to say I am a martial artist now. I am, like my last fight, the girl couldn't get me down on the cage. I feel like I've learned so much. I go down onto the floor, I can get back up. I'm 100% a martial artist, but as for one that's, 100% there, no, I don't think I'll ever be. I'm constantly learning in the gym, but I'm okay with that because I feel like I'd get a little bit complacent if I was too comfortable with what stage I'm at now. So I'm okay with going to the gym, and I was about to say I'm okay with losing rounds, but I'm definitely not. I'm just okay with having to work hard and not win everything at the moment. I'm quite happy with that. So for me, no, I don't feel like a martial artist that's complete yet, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Dakota, thank you very much for joining us today. We both really absolutely appreciate it. I know we're both stoked to see your next fight, and we'd love to talk to you again in future.
Thank you so much for having me today.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you, Dakota. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.